Beautiful day here in Portugal. The sun is on my face and I am feeling feisty. And I want to come on here and offer you a brutal truth. And if you are a coach in your first 1, 2, or 3 years, I really want you to hear this because it's one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of coaches making in the earlier years. It was certainly a mistake that I made and still do. I'm a human. You know, my first year as a coach, I was really impatient, and I was in a huge rush. And that was fueled by reality. Prior to becoming a coach, I had a food tech business that I grew to 7 figures, raised £1 million for, which was wiped out by COVID. And it left me in a hole financially, energetically, emotionally, everythingly. It left me in a hole. But I couldn't wait around and sit on my hands and cry and sit in victim consciousness because my wife was about to go on maternity. So I literally had to make money. But also my ego shadow is entitlement. It's definitely the shadow of delusion, of bold belief, is this entitlement. And my ego is entitled. It thinks it should be there now. And of course, with that impatience, with that entitlement came a lot of impatience. And I got suckered into a ton of marketing ads promising me the get rich quick scheme, the 6 figures in 6 weeks. And had I listened to this video that I'm sharing with you right now and how to actually build a sustainable, profitable coaching business, then I would have saved myself literally tens of thousands of pounds. Whether I would have actually heard it back then is another question, but you have a choice now to really hear this. You know, yes, this may sound trite. This may sound, yeah, of course, be patient and all that, but I'm different. You know, I can make the 6 figures in 6 hours. You know, maybe that is true. We all have different stories, you know, but for every get rich quick success you see, what you don't see is years behind them. Now, I have seen some pretty quick success in my business. You know, my first year I did 6 figures. This year I've done multiple 6 figures this is my 3rd and a bit year. I think it's my 4th year. I doubled it in my 2nd year. You know, I have seen some pretty quick results, but what you haven't seen before that is 5 years of building my food tech business, of being in the entrepreneurial game, of working on my mind, on working on productivity, on getting rejected. Literally to raise £1 million, I must have spoken to 400 investors. Most of them rejected me because my idea was pretty batshit wild. So I got a lot of conditioning and increase my capacity to hear rejection. That's what you don't see or hear. And for every get rich quick success, as I say, you don't hear the years behind it. People do get rich very quickly after 10 years of work. So this impatience is fueling a lot of coaches, and it shows up in jumping from program to program, to coach to coach, to course to course, to book, and totally overwhelming their mind and their nervous system. Of course, I know this because I went through this myself, and I still forget time to time. My ego, like yours, is very convincing. But I really want to encourage you to slow the fuck down, to really breathe in some patience. You know, we forget as coaches that coaching is a career like every other career. You know, you don't see doctors in their first year, you know, complaining, I'm not operating on the brain yet, Trevor, let me operate on the brain. I don't know why the doctor's called Trevor, just went for that. Really hope this dog's not gonna get me wet. But the point is, it's a career like any other. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes mastery. Much like that doctor, you know, wouldn't expect to be at the top of their game a year in. It's the same for us. You know, just because there are low barriers of entry doesn't mean that we should be there in 6 months, in a year. This is a career, it's a vocation, it's a calling. And if you're like me, you're probably in coaching for life. Whoa. You're probably in coaching for life. Coaching is my calling. I see myself doing this and public speaking and mentoring for the rest of my time. unquestionable. So what's the rush? Because the rush fuels that panicky energy, it overwhelms our nervous system, and it leads to much slower results. Corny as it is, you've got to slow down to speed up. Now imagine you have 100 clients, dream clients in a room. 3 of those will be ready to buy now. 15 of those will be ready, I'll do 12 actually, but 12 of those will be ready to buy in the next 3 months. 35 of them will be ready to buy next 3 to 6 months. And the last 50, if I've done my maths right, may never be ready, or may be ready in a year's time. Now, if you are short-term focused, if you are impatient, you focus all your energy on those 3 people, and you're going out with a sniper gun, looking to snipe, going hunting for those clients. And what that does often is pushes the other 97 away. So those other 97 will never come back to you. Whereas if you adopt everything I'm about to say, you'll build a far more sustainable and profitable business over the long haul. The key is staying in the game and, again, adopting everything I'm about to say. So I'll make this really real for you. So I had a call last week with someone who's paid for, I think 2 calls with me, and he's done about 2 or 3 workshops with me. So he spent, maybe £1,000 over the last year or 2 with me. And he said on this last call, I know I will work with you at some point. I know I'll work with you one-to-one. I'm actually saving up to work with you on a one-to-one basis. Now, at that point, I didn't try and manipulate or coerce him, manipulate him into investing me there and then. I just cool, let me know when you're ready. Now, this isn't the first person that said this to me. I've had around 10 people say this to me, at least, and many of them have since worked with me because of everything, again, what I'm about to share with you, because I've really started to adopt a more patient mindset and systems, again, that I'm about to share with you. But the reason why these people are sharing with me that eventually one day they'll work with me is because, 1, I'm consistent in showing up. Now, that doesn't mean every single day. I work in seasons. I align myself with my natural energy, so that means periods of intense focus, time away, periods of intense focus, time away. Like I've just had 4 days completely off email, Instagram, and I just needed that. So I think consistency isn't what I'm saying here. It's consistent and aligned with your energy. But I'm also incredibly consistent with my message. Now, there's some strategy in this. I have a whole video called Authority Flywheel. Go and check that out. But most of all here is that my message is my embodiment. My message is what I live. I truly believe that the best marketing is who you become. So my message is consistent because I just share my truths. I just share what I'm living, and I repeat it over and over and over again. And I'm okay repeating it over and over again because people need to be reminded more than taught anything new. But that consistency of message actually builds trust with your audience. Now think of Tony Robbins. If you watch Tony Robbins' content, it's all the same. The stories are the same, the messages are the same, the insights are the same, the big ideas are the same. And actually what that does, it builds trust. It actually softens your nervous system and it allows you to go, yeah, okay, now I'm listening. If he said it 5 times, it must really be true. It's how I got into priming every single morning. It probably took me hearing him say it 5, 6, 7 times before, okay, yeah, I'm listening now. So it's that consistency of message that really builds trust over the long haul. Along with that is building a movement. Again, this is the heart of building Authority Flywheel. Go check that movie out. Movie? It's not a movie, it's a video. It's a training. But go check that out. But building a movement, people feel pulled, magnetized to your message. If you think about all the great movements, they have a future-based cause. They have these big ideas that they're wrapped around. But by creating a movement, people feel pulled. Whereas if you compare that to someone who's just focused on quick results, tactics, people come and go. Think about the last tactical guide you downloaded for Instagram. You probably downloaded it and you tapped out. You never followed that person ever again. That's what happens when you create tactical, quick fix content. But when you build trust and when you are patient, you focus on building a movement, you focus on sharing your truths and trust that people will find themselves in your message. I believe, a pretty unique intersection. I talk about Taoism, I talk about spirituality, embodiment, dance, peanut butter, coaching, business. I have a very unique message, and in that creates a movement, and with that movement people feel pulled towards that movement, and because of that I've created this following where people say, I know I will work with you at some point in my life. I've got so many of these people, and that's who I know of. I know in my email list and my followers, I know there's a lot more. So building a movement. The third thing I'll say is just by being totally committed to my inner growth. I remember one of my past clients saying to me, Joe, will there ever be a point where I outgrow you? And I said, no, no, this is my life's mission. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to step fully into my potential, really unlock everything inside of me and inspire others to do the same. That is why I'm put on this planet. I'm literally an awakener. That is what I'm here to do. And how I awake people is with my being, it's with my energy, it's with who I am. So the work that I do on myself is my business. We are the product. It's why coaching is both the most rewarding, but also the most challenging business career there is, because it requires us to consistently look into our traumas, into our doubts, into our limitations, and not only ours but our ancestors. It's a never-ending process, and it's why I always work with a coach, with a mentor. I go on men's retreats, I sit in ceremony, I do breath work every day. I spend 60 to 90 minutes in my morning routine moving, meditating, breathing, reflecting. I'm constantly excavating to unlock. So that will be the third thing. The fourth thing is systems. Systems do the heavy lifting. As James Clear says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. Without systems, we are constantly on the hunt. We're constantly looking for those 3 people out of the 100 that are ready now. I have people reach out to me, inbound leads. When I launch new offers, for example, I have people come out of the woodwork and say, yes, I've never spoken to before, but they've been in my ecosystem, consuming my content, going deeper and deeper into my world, into my point of view, without me even doing it. This is the power of systems. This is about building an ecosystem, a content ecosystem. And really, this is at the heart of the authority flywheel. Now, again, go and watch that video. It's an absolute banger, where I literally map this all out. And on a side note, if you want us to build your entire system, literally build your entire system for you and teach you how to run it, how to fuel it with daily actions, then message me on Instagram, ECC, and I'll send over details. Let me go to my notes really quickly, because I did have a few extra things I wanted to, finally, there may be another one, but finally, I never put pressure on my clients or my potential clients to work with me. I've been on the other side of being manipulated, coerced into working with someone, and it doesn't feel good. I've also been on a position where I've said no, and it didn't land very well with them, and they put pressure on me, and actually I was like, well, fuck this, I'm going elsewhere. But I've also been on the other end where someone goes, cool, let us know when you're ready. And of course, I am a self-led person, I'm a self-led human, as are you. And I believe that about my audience. So when that happens with me, I tend to find myself back with them if it's right. And that's what I believe is true for my clients as well. I never pressure anyone to work with me. In fact, when someone says no, I don't challenge it, I support it. And when someone says yes, I actually challenge it. I do the opposite to what most people do. I don't rush to get the credit card out. I challenge it and make sure and flush things out if it's a real, true yes. Because I only want to work with self-led people that have gone to the lengths like this person is to work with me. When you have clients who literally have been saving up to work with you, they take your container incredibly seriously. And it's why my clients see incredible shifts in their life, in their business, in their relationships, in their energy, because they take it seriously. But I empower them to do that. I have in the past manipulated clients to work with me, and those clients need saving. They need someone to do all the work for them. And it's not a way I ever want to coach or build my business ever again. So instead now I empower my clients to work with me. I never put pressure on. I trust in their own sovereignty, in their own ability to make their own choice. Now, is there a final one? I suppose the final one is it's just becoming a leader, becoming magnetic, becoming energetically attractive. This is kind of linked to what I was saying before by doing the work. But yeah, this is the number one out of all of them is who you are. As they say, you don't attract what you do or what you say, you attract who you are. You know, I'm not the best communicator in the world, I'm not the best marketer in the world, but my business is growing month on month, doubling pretty much every year, and it will likely double again this year. It already has doubled in the last 3 months from last year's. And I say that not to brag, I say that to hopefully give you confidence that you don't need all the right strategies, the right tactics, the right wordage, the right communication skills. You need to really just step in to your leadership, own your points of view, own your convictions, own your big ideas, and support it with systems. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. Sending you love from a beautiful day here in Portugal. I'm about to do some animal flow and a bit of exercise. So sending so much love. Bye for now.